Hello, McKinney Lacrosse families. This is Reggie Jeffrey here. I also have Karen here, who's also moderating the chat. Uh, Thank you all for joining us and taking your time out of your Sunday to kind of review some questions, some answers that we've been getting. This is kind of a little impromptu Q&A stream. I thought it'd be good to kind of get a voice and a face and name to some of the questions that we've been receiving on a regular, and also thought it'd be good if we had a video track record so you can kind of go back and review some of the questions that were asked or some of the procedures that we're looking to go through for the fall. We also have Owen Lancaster, which is the president of McKinney Lacrosse, and a few other board members that are following us along on the stream and on the chat. And what we're going to do is going to go through a couple of Q&As and procedures, and at the end we'll leave it open for people to ask questions around registration, around fall procedures, and around any kind of COVID protocols that we might have. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Again, we'll have the open Q&A at the end, but as we go through each topic, please feel free to hit us up in the chat. And then you'll see players and whatever players that you have set up. And if you go to this icon right here, you can actually go in and see what address and zip code is under your US Lacrosse, or I'm sorry, under your McKinney Lacrosse account information. Switching over to here, if you can see my US Lacrosse, you want to go into your account information on US Lacrosse and make sure those zip codes are the same.
Reggie, I think we're having a problem seeing your screen.
Okay. Which problem are we seeing, Karen?
I'm just seeing your logo screen. I'm not seeing any of the things that you're sharing.
Sure. Okay, so I kind of get that, Karen. You're probably seeing, when you're seeing me, you're probably seeing it behind. So if you're watching it on YouTube, you'll probably see it. It's a little bit behind from when I'm actually speaking. And
I can see it now.
Okay, and forgive me because I'm answering a couple questions here as well. So I'm going back and forth here. So now the first screen I saw, kind of recapping, and I'll go back through it again here, is the screen on Sports Connect. So let me back up even further just to be perfectly clear. You go into, you're registering for the first time. You're going into fall registration. Register now. You'll hit the register now button. And it'll take you to what used to look like our old McKinney Lacrosse page, because we're still using a program called Sports Connect. Once you log in, you'll get this screen here, which will have all your players here, all your children here and their accounts. And then you go to this little square with the pencil, and then it'll take you to all of your account information, your streets, it won't have your US Lacrosse number, but it'll have the address and the email and the contact phone number. So you want to make sure that the zip code under that account is the same as, and what I'm showing you all now is the US Lacrosse account. You want to log into their information and go in and make sure that zip code is the same. So that's one thing that we definitely want to make sure to check for. The other thing that you want to make sure you want to check for is your US Lacrosse number, and make sure that it is up to date and you're properly registered. So just to be clear about that, if you're trying to register for today and your registration for your US Lacrosse number expires in the next couple of weeks, if that registration expires within the length of the fall season, which goes all the way to the end of November, then it won't let you register. You have to register and renew it up to next year. So even if it's still good for today and it doesn't expire till 2 weeks from now, it's going to expire within the week. You have to renew it for next year, so it has a full year's registration and then you can go in and register on our website. So that's been some of the main problems that I've been getting as far as, hey, it's showing up, it's saying my number's not valid. The case is the number's valid. It liars where it wasn't those two issues. I know a while ago it required some users to use the 75072 address instead of their actual zip code. So make sure that that problem is fixed now. So you can use your actual zip code and make sure those zip codes match on the US Lacrosse site, as well as the Sport Connect site, which is our registration site. Are there any questions on that I'm missing? Karen, has anyone popped any questions on chat about that?
No, it looks good.
Okay. All right. So the next thing we're going to move on to is the Team Manager app. And that is an app that you use to kind of communicate with the team managers to know when we're actually going to be doing signups. It looks, just so you guys know, I'm gonna hold this up to the camera. It's this green app right here that says GC. GC Team Manager. Okay, that's the one you're going to get. And the way that's going to work is, and I know Barbara here, who is actually on the board, is going to meet with the team managers. When you register, your email goes into our database, and the team managers will put you on the right team. Once they put you on the right team, you will get an email invite, which will automatically send you the link to that app, whether it's Android or Apple. You'll download it, you put your email address in, and you'll see that your child has showed up on the right team. If you have multiple players, then you'll have access to multiple teams. There's a way to communicate with the coach directly, other parents, and send a general email out on that link. So that's going to be our primary way of communicating to the parents what teams are, activities, rainouts, changing schedules, and that's going to be managed by the team manager. I'm sure Barbara's going to send an email out about that, but I know the team's meeting on Tuesday to work on that, and so you should have more information then. That email address when you register also puts you in our email database. So if you're not receiving regular emails, it's like, Reggie, you're talking about all this stuff, I haven't seen any emails, please email me at info@mckinneylacrosse.com and I can make sure you're in that database. And I would also check your spam filter, because I know spam filter blocks a lot of the mass emails that come through. Just something to look for. Are there any questions about that or concerns on how to look for or sign in on that? Karen, you see anything coming through?
No, no questions.
Okay. And again, if you're watching over this and wanting to email me, but it's, of course, the live chat is over, info@mckinneylacrosse.com. The next thing we're going to go through, and want to be quick here, is the coaches and contact information. So you're on a team, you want to get a hold of us being the board, or any one of the coaches. All that information is on the website, and the website is currently changing and renewing, but that information is on there. I'm going to show you where to go here. So you're going to want to go to the home page, mckinneylacrosse.com. You want to go about us, board and coach information. And you can scroll down here, our mission statement. You'll see the leadership board and our emails where you can contact us directly in some of our roles. And if you go down a little further, there's the coaching information. You just open this up, tree down, and you can open up the information so you know the name of your coach and team manager. And eventually, once the season gets started, you'll have a email link for all of those folks. Right now, some of them are there, some of them aren't, but those are on process of being updated. But as the season goes through, you can actually refer here to email some of your coaches directly, and you can also message them directly on the team app once that's installed. Any questions on that?
Looks good.
Okay. All right. So the next one we'll go over is, I know, which is a concern with a lot of protocols that we have. We have the practice protocol, which I have to do in case you come down with a case of COVID, how to report it, and what the plan is if it's reported. So I'll just go through the practice protocol real quick. And again, all this is on the website for you to review. I encourage a lot of our new players to kind of go through each one of these topics just so you know how to engage, especially with lacrosse being new. I know Coach Jared Moffitt is welcome to explain any of this information as far as how the game works and equipment needed to all of you, but this is kind of a quick overview of how our COVID protocol should work. So one of the main things is when you arrive on the field, you must have your temperature check. 99.9 or higher, you will be sent home with no questions asked. So I know that seems pretty direct, but that's crucial. In order for us to keep playing, we have to come up with procedures and we have to be able to follow them. And I know that all the coaches are committed to actually enforcing the procedures. When being sent home for any health reasons, you will need to wait on the opposite side of the fence off the field for your ride. So I would encourage, with that being said, if you have a ride, if parents are bringing your kids to the game, I would wait till they get checked 100% or on the field before taking off. I don't necessarily encourage the drop off and go. With COVID the way it is, let's make sure everyone has gotten their health check and are good to go on the field. There will be no spectators or parents allowed on the field for practice. So if anyone's been to Bonnie Wink lately, and I think a lot of you all have, we've got fences that are pretty nice, and we're going to ask you to stay on the other side of those fences while you're watching the practice, or at least wait in the car. We're going to really limit the amount of people who are going to be on the field to just players, any kind of team managers, and coaches. There will be, during games, all spectators and parents must wear masks. So that's something that we're going to kind of push as well. They need to have a mask or some kind of face covering. I'll take this opportunity to go ahead and let you all know that there are gaiters that McKinney Lacrosse has up. So if you're looking for some kind of face mask that still has McKinney Lacrosse on it and wants to support the team, we have those. I'll make sure to get a link out for that here shortly. If maybe someone's already gotten them who've been to the McKinney 3-on-3, but we'll have those available at each practice for each person to purchase. And Karen, let me know if I'm wrong. Those are $9.99, right? What is the asking price for those?
Those are $10 even.
Okay, $10 even.
That I can show when we're done sharing screens.
Perfect. So yes, if you could have your face mask when on field, that would be great. Masks are required at all times during practice. Players will arrive with their masks and will depart their masks. They will be required to wear their mask during portions of practice and huddles for the expansion of distance. If not, it's not an optional. So the gaiters are the best, or the mask, but what we're asking is when you're going to and from a drill, have your mask on, and the coaches will give you the okay, mask off, mask on. I think that's what was discussed, correct, Karen? The coaches will determine when they can take the mask on and off. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. The players will not have to wear their mask during physical activity. So obviously, if we're engaged in one-on-ones or any kind of scrimmages or whatnot, they won't be required to wear that. We'll also have a COVID health check questionnaire that should be reviewed by parents and players before each practice. And again, I'm kind of paraphrasing over this, but we will send out a link to make sure every parent or every player fills that out. That will go to the coaches, that will go to the board, and we'll have them review so we have an idea of A, our team is healthy and ready to play, and B, how many players will be coming to practice so we can plan accordingly. Next is when arriving to practice is games, 6 feet of space will be maintained between players, gears, coaches will help with this. So again, we're all coming back to practice. We're happy to see each other. We want to talk a little bit before practice and after practice, but we have to maintain that social distancing, and I know the coaches will definitely be enforcing that. The COVID health check is kind of documented here. I would encourage everyone to kind of go through this. I don't necessarily want to read it one by one because there's a lot of information here, and quite honestly, this might be information that you've heard before. But this is the reference point that we're going to use to determine health check. So I would encourage you to go to the Team Central, Practice and Protocols, and it has all the information of what you should be checking for. And also when we actually fill out it's not necessarily a waiver, but a questionnaire, whether you're good to go to practice or not, they'll have a lot of this information on here, which you need to look for. So again, I would encourage you to look through that. That is on our McKinney webpage under Team Central. So moving on to the protocol of a reported case. So if you do have a case of COVID or you reported or someone in your home is reported, obviously we ask for you to refrain from coming to practice. But we also ask that you email our registrar at mckinneylacrosse.com. So our registrar will just give us and our registrar will be taking that information, we'll document it so we know, hey, this person is out, we know there's a case of COVID, we can look at it and say, okay, what team was this person on, let other players know, they can do their health check and kind of help stop the spread or lower the spread. Again, there's a lot of information here as far as what you need to do when that case is reported. But the key thing to know is to go to register at McKinney Lacrosse and report that case once you find out you have that case. As soon as you find out, an email is best. You can also copy info@mckinneylacrosse.com and we'll go ahead and process that information. And more than likely, that representative monitoring that account will call and reach out to you. Obviously, we want to make sure you guys are okay. Make sure you all are doing well. And then once you kind of go through the procedures of getting well, we ask that you, before coming back, that you talk to your physician, make sure you get the okay from your physician, and then contact us and let us know within your 14 days of quarantine after being cured from COVID, you're able to come back. Again, the details of all that are here and written out. And if there's any questions on that, you can email me at info@mckinneylacrosse.com. One thing to know, though, is in the case of a large case of COVID or in case that we can't get together for games or tournaments, that's not necessarily mean that we are canceling the season or, refunds will be issued or whatnot. The goal of the fall is to work on skills. So if there's a case where we can't have games or tournaments or anything like that, what we will need to do is we will have remote conditioning, skills, and lessoning. And I know we've talked to all the coaches. They're going to have a curriculum ready for that. So if there is a case where we have to take a couple of weeks off and not meet as a team, there will be online conditioning, skill learning, and preparation sessions. And that is all something that we're going to do and continue to add value to the program. Are there any questions on that, Karen?
No questions.
Okay. All right. Again, I encourage you all to kind of look through that. There's a lot to go through there, but we want to maintain the safety of the club. We want to come back in the spring full strength. So these are the protocols that we've used from best practices, some of this from the CDC and things that we put together, some other clubs have put together that will give us the best chance for success. So moving on to the next subject is new player packets and equipment. A lot of what's in the new player packet and equipment, and what I'll do is I'll put together a download link. Karen put together some documentation, which is pretty much a lot of what we just went over that you can come and review. But one of the new things that I want to encourage new players to do is look at what you need as far as equipment. For boys, I'll quickly run through it. And switch this back over here. What you're going to want is helmet, shoulder pads, arm pads, gloves, mouthpiece, obviously a stick, and cleats. That's just kind of the general tactics. We actually work with Team Lax. Team Lax has all that equipment there. They also have the uniforms there. Highly encourage you to go to Team Lax, which is located in McKinney. And what I'll do is I'll add a link so you all can look at some of the equipment and uniform gears. But nonetheless, you want to go on site and make sure that you try on your equipment and try on your uniform before ordering. For the girls, I know they need goggles, a mouth guard, a stick, obviously, and cleats. Karen, am I missing anything there?
No, that's correct.
Okay, so I would, again, with the girls program, we definitely want to make sure that they try on their uniform. It has a little bit different fit. So I know Team Lax has some uniforms there for you to try. And then once you found a good fit, then you can go ahead and put in the order there while in store. And it normally takes a couple of weeks to get out to you. But for the fall, we normally don't use the game uniform, we use the practice uniform. So it gives you a little bit of time to prepare. Again, I'm checking my notes here and see if there's anything I missed. Karen, anything in the chat that I need to be aware of?
Yeah, I didn't hear if you said that or not, but we do want to emphasize that the boys will need to also have a cup. I didn't hear if you said that or not, but they do need that protective gear.
That is crucial. Yes, absolutely. Some kind of protective garment there. That is crucial, yes. And again, Team Lax has all that. I would make that your first stop simply because they have the expertise there. They've got guys there who have played before. I will say that Dick's does have some sporting equipment, but if you're wanting to talk to someone who has the sports IQ and the acumen of the sports, I would start with Team Lax, then probably work to Dick's Sporting Goods. Football cleats or soccer cleats are some of the ones I recommend. There are lacrosse cleats that are pretty good, but those are your three options if you're looking for shoes. I would not encourage tennis shoes coming to the practices. You want to find yourself a pair of good cleats. Okay.
And also I'd like to clarify, Team Lax is in Frisco. It is close to the Stonebriar Mall on Warren Parkway.
Okay. I think we'll add that link. I'll put that link here in the YouTube video description where you can get the uniforms and an address. So I'll add that after the fact here. And again, if there are any questions on that, info@mckinney-lacrosse.com. So next one is our goals for the fall. So the main goal for the fall is, and I know a lot of folks are asking with COVID, what if games are canceled? What if tournaments are canceled? You know, how many times are going to be get together? What days games are going to be on? Most of the time when we have our games, what we generally do is we make almost a play day with an Allen or Frisco or whatnot, and we try to have all our games all in a row. That may not exactly be the case this year. The goal of this year is for us as a team, as a club, to meet often and work on stick skills, work on field skills, and working together as growing as a team to prepare for the spring. Making sure that everyone has the right equipment, making sure everyone has the right lacrosse IQ, making sure everyone has the right conditioning. So that is our main goal for the fall. We do have a big tournament, the Relaxing tournament that we host, that is crucial to our club. It's actually, it's an amazing tournament. It is a national tournament, so we definitely be preparing for that. And the youth kids do participate in a pink out tournament. The dates for those are set, but again, anything can happen with COVID. But either way, we are all meeting to get better for the spring. That is the main goal of the fall, is to build skills. So don't necessarily count the value of the fall as how many games we play, but how well we grow as a team and as a club. And I know Coach Moffitt and Spencer have a goal for that and has already given that information to the other coaches of what we're going to work on. So expect to see growth there. Are there any questions on that? Karen, do you have anything?
We did have a question about when fall ball starts, and we just want to clarify that that does start this week, with tomorrow being Labor Day. Practices will be starting on Tuesday, depending on the team. Can you tell us maybe more about the team schedule, practice schedule?
Yes. So what I'm going to do is let's go back to the McKinney Lacrosse page. If you go to the home page, Team Central here, go to team practices for the fall. And this will kind of run through the schedule. And again, if there are any questions, info@mckinneylacrosse.com. But we have the K2 boys Tuesday and Thursday, 5:30 to 7 p.m. I'll let you all see this, and I'm sure you don't want me to go through all the times. But here's bonding week are two fields. So more than likely what happens is when the youth are practicing, they split this one field into two. When the high school is practicing, the girls or the boys, they take their own fields. So that's kind of what they expect. Well, it might be worth going through the actual time. So yeah, I will do that. Boys 3-4 is Monday, Wednesday, 5:30 to 7. Boys 5-6, Monday, Wednesday, 5:30 to 7. Boys 7-8, Tuesday, Thursday, 5:30 to 7. Varsity boys, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 to 9. A little bit later practices. I know there was an email that went out that might have had Wednesday as a practice day. That's not the case. It is actually, for right now, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Girls 3-4, Tuesday, Thursday, 5:30 to 7. Girls 5-6, Tuesday, Thursday, 5:30 to 7. Girls 7-8, Tuesday, Thursday, 5:30 to 7. Girls varsity, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 to 8:30. Key thing to note is the older kids' practices is right after the youth. All the more reason to kind of let them come in the field, get on the field, get your kids off the field, home, working on homework right away. We're going to try to limit the amount of the socializing after each practice and before each practice so we can get moving right into the next practice. Suggestion that I would make that would make things a whole lot easier for the coaches, if at all possible, you want to get dressed outside of those fences. Better yet, get dressed in your car, pads on in the car, get pads on at your car, and then take your pads off at the car at the end of practice. No need to unpad on the field, then put your stuff in the bag and then run back to the car. I recommend just get padded on and padded off at the vehicle outside the fences so we can get the next group on the field. Any questions to clarify that? And again, that's on Team Central Fall 2020 practice schedule. And the address is located above. I'm sorry?
I'm not seeing any questions.
Okay. Next thing to touch on, and after this we'll go into the Q&A, is volunteering. So for volunteering, for right now, I know Barbara's kind of running our volunteering team, and you can reach her at registrar@mckinneylacrosse.com, and I'll put that address there. But we really need you to contact us about volunteering. Again, Trilaction is coming up. That is a big tournament for us. That is crucial for us. Any help that you can provide, time you can provide, email the registrar at mckinneylacrosse.com. Barbara will get that information to the proper people. I believe Scott Wooter is going to be running that, as well as Todd is going to be managing those schedules for what's going to be happening during Trilaction. And again, stay tuned for more information coming out about that. But we're really going to need your help at those times. We're also going to need help during the high school games. When those come along, we're actually doing check-ins or working in the, what's the best way to take? Where you're coming in and you're paying for tickets and whatnot. We're also going to need help as team managers. We're short on a few team managers, so if you're on a team and you want to kind of help, you want to kind of volunteer, I would encourage you to reach out to the registrar at mckinneylacrosse.com or just contact your coach directly. I'm on the 3-4 team. I need a team manager, so I would definitely love for you to contact me directly when that Teams app comes out, and you'll see it come through. If you want to volunteer, contact your team manager, and contact any one of us on the board. I'm going to go back to that board information, just so we're on the same page. And we'd be happy to put you in a place where you can help. Principals to talk to on that are going to be Barbara at register@mckinneylacrosse.com. And then you can also reach out to me at info@mckinneylacrosse.com. And I'll work with Todd and Scott to get folks put in the right places where they need to be. Any questions on that?
Nothing in the chat box.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and open up the Q&A, and if you can type it in the chat box regarding spring or regarding questions for the fall, regarding COVID protocol, regarding practice schedules, I'll give it the next 10-15 minutes to answer those questions as best we can. And just so you know, we also have the board members again who are following along in the chat. They might chime in and answer any of these questions, or I'm happy to answer them here. So go ahead and type in your questions, and we'll try to answer them the best you can. Karen, are you getting anything on your side?
No questions. Oh, here's a question.
Okay.
When will people get credit from last season?
Okay, so that is a appreciate that question. So the way that works is when you register and you are registered for the spring, the 2020 spring season, you need to go ahead and register first. Once you register first, you need to reach out to your team manager. We'll then get that information to the treasurer, and the treasurer will automatically credit your account once he's confirmed you're registered for the spring and you're registered for this for the fall, 2020 fall. That will automatically come once you've done it and reached out to the team manager. Again, if you're looking for that and you've already registered, you need to message your team manager. If you're not sure your team manager is, message info@mckinneylacrosse.com or treasurer@mckinneylacrosse.com, and we'll get that taken care of for you. But that does happen only after you've registered.
So what you're saying is I'll get a credit back?
You will get it credited to your account once you've registered.
Okay.
And does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
And I want to be clear, it's not the full amount, it is a percentage of that amount. It's almost like a discount off of the fall. So you want to be sure I'm saying that correctly, that you shouldn't expect the full spring back. It's a percentage of what the registration is. But it's only after you register.
So I have some more information for that I want to add in there. You don't have to reach out to your team manager. People who've already registered, who registered in August, they have already been refunded. It'll be a direct refund to the credit card. And then people who registered in September, they will be refunded this week. So after you register, you'll get a refund back to your credit card if you played in spring 2020.
Okay. Great. Is there any other questions or anything else that we missed?
I have another question. Will we be participating in any tournaments this season?
We will be participating in Chillaxin, and we will do our best to participate in Pink Out. We'll have more information for that shortly. But those are the two main ones. Every once in a while we do a third, but those are the two that I know that we participate in on a regular basis. For sure, Chillaxin. And Peak Out is a Frisco tournament. Okay. Karen, do you see anything on your side?
No, no new questions.
All right. All right, folks. Well, if that's it. Sorry, I've got one more question here. I want to make sure I get it. Oh, just to make sure everyone knows, based on the last question, the girls' youth is in the pumpkin shootout in Frisco. So they'll be expected to be in that tournament as well.